I have not been following the Lindsay Clancy trial, and I've just been watching videos here and there. Not enough to formulate an opinion until I just heard that the father described his children as good people. 5, 3, and 7 months old. His children were good people. I know another psychopath who, when talking about how he was not going to his kid's wedding, described his son as a good guy that he's known for a very long time. Now I feel that I'm armed with enough information to say that I think he did it. I think that she was hopped up on 13 different medications, any 2 of which would have caused her to completely black out and be in a psychosis. Okay, 13 different medications. I don't give a fuck if she wasn't taking them all at the same time. Really doesn't make a difference to me. That's a lot of fucking medication. The one antipsychotic that she was on was already like double or triple the regular dose, and then they doubled it the next day. Please, I'm sorry. But she was very clearly trying to get help. A person who is going to do that thing is not going to try everything she can to seek help. That's number one. Number two, I think that he had that woman who he's now married to and has a child with already. He moved to New York City where she lives 4 months after this all happened. Okay. I think that he had that, and I think that he is the family annihilator. I think that he wanted to start over. Like that one guy who tossed his entire family into the fucking water tower. I think he wanted a fresh start, and he didn't want to do it with 3 kids and a wife and have to deal with the divorce and the child support and the timeshare. Because what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? That like immediately he was saying, I've forgiven her and you should too? Sounds like a guy who feels guilty for doing this to her. He was hoping that she was going to die. He was hoping that he wouldn't have to deal with seeing her face, seeing her have to fight charges for something that he did. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I was not going to chime in because I just don't have all of the information. I have not been following it. This has not been a special interest of mine. But when I heard today for the first time that he moved to New York City 3 or 4 months later and has married that woman, has a child with her, all fucking ready. Never mind the fact that you found your kids dead, you found your kids strangled to death, and you are not at all traumatized. You were ready to go date? Because let's assume that you didn't know her beforehand. Let's assume that this was not a situation where you were already seeing that woman. You moved to New York City, of all places, for a fresh start when you found your 3 children, 5, 3, and 7 months strangled to death. You weren't at all moved by that to where maybe you needed to be alone for a little while. You were immediately like, forgive her. It's not her fault. I dropped her to her death, but she made it. I slit her fucking throat and lowered her out the window and then dropped her the last couple feet and, didn't do the fucking thing. Sorry. And what do you mean? A couple days before this happened, he was on a trip to New York for 2 days and she didn't do it then? And he apparently had a social network, and he had boys' nights and shit, and she didn't do it then. Instead, she sent him on a 3-minute long, followed by a 9-minute long errand. Enough time to kill 3 people and then try to kill herself in multiple ways, slicing her own throat. She was a nurse. Correct me if I'm wrong. She couldn't figure out a better way than slicing her own throat. Women typically overdose. Women do pills or slit their wrists. And I imagine a nurse would know how to do that. What do you mean she sliced her throat and then threw herself out the window after expending the energy it took to kill 3 babies? With exercise bands, with rubber bands? A nurse couldn't think of another way to do that. Seems very violent. Seems like some shit a man would do. I could be wrong. Again, I have not been following it. So take this with a boulder of salt, okay? But he called his children very good people. Just like that other psychopath I know. Okay. If you asked me to tell you about my niece and nephew, I wouldn't say, because this is another thing I heard in the same video, that he said, this one liked princesses, this one liked whatever, fucking Blue's Clues, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't tell you what they were into, what they like to read. I would tell you what a not a good person, what a delight this one was, how she lit up the room, how she's always been funny since the day she was born, how she can capture anyone, how she can get you to do anything she wants, right? I would tell you how the other one has such a sweet disposition and how he's always been so inquisitive and how he's always had a question on his face since the day that he was born. He's always been wondering. He's always been investigating. I would tell you about their, essence. I wouldn't tell you, yeah, this one likes karate. This one likes to do push-ups, 100 a day. That's fucking weird. Might come up at some point, but that's not what I'm saying. God forbid, by the way. That's not what I'm saying if you ask me to tell you about them. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, this one's really funny because she likes to do 100 squats, 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups every day. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you about her essence. Anyway, that was a very detached explanation. And then the move a couple months later. Anyway, I don't know. But he forgave her really quick, almost like he had a guilty conscience.